Me, Mary.
So you met my sister first?
I met your sister first.
Much like that, they used to kidnap me. Yoruba man. Oh, sorry, you're not a Yoruba man.
Our plan was for the first year.
We want to just see each other. No families.
Meet
no.
out strictly.
Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Christiana Showme, and with me here is my loving husband.
My name is Inyere Agape. Hello, homies. It's always fun to call me Agape.
Okay, so this is the second time he's coming to my channel, and I feel like you'll be seeing him like a lot more often. Not like he's taking over my channel, but I'll be inviting him once in a while because yeah, it's my first video with my lighting equipment, and I'm sure that you would see the difference. Although I'm a bit sweaty, and it's also a bit sweaty because we have to put out all the fans to ensure that the audio is stable.
Yeah.
So, baby.
Yes, my lady.
So the reason why he's here today is to tell you guys how we met. Yeah, I know I've shared my
drum roll.
I know I've shared my part of the story, but because we don't have the same story, so I think I'll just let him go ahead and share his part of the story. So guys, stay tuned.
Okay, so how did we meet? It's interesting. I have my own story, like she said. She has her own story.
Yeah.
So let me just cut to the chase. So it's been after a while on my dating spree and all of that. Then I was on Twitter, as God will have it this day, and I saw a comment from someone saying, God, when? So, as a sharp man now.
God now.
God is now. Say God now. What do you feel? Okay. So I was like, okay, God is now. We can make things happen. So we started talking. We got close. We started talking, which happens to be a sister.
Hey.
I need you guys to understand that. So the person happens to be a sister, the person of Nurse Show Me, Mary.
So you met my sister first.
I met her sister first. And we're talking, and Monday was like, see, okay, let's just, instead of beating around the bush, let's cut to the cheese and all of that. And I was like, this is it. Let me ask you out another. She was like, no, she has a boyfriend. I was like, God, when don't crash you. So we spoke, and I was like, okay, it's all fine. I like your vibe, I like your personality. I'll just keep you there, you'll be my friend. And we'll just be good like that. So we went on for about a week and a half talking. This was early January, if I'm not mistaken. We went on for about a week and a half talking. Yeah, early January of 2020. Yes, not the year. And we went on talking. Yeah, and there was this day we were just conversing, and she was like, she'd like to tell me something, but then I was like, but what? What's the but? Let it out. I wish I could pull up the chats. I was like, but what? So she told me, you don't know, but maybe when we see. So we planned a meet out, a date, and we met somewhere around Ojodubega. And
don't give them address.
I'm not going to give them address.
Continue.
I just said Ojodubega, for the love of God. You don't want me to say the real deal. So when we got there, and after that was the first time I'll meet a sister, like physically. So we had shawarma and a drink, and we discussed about our day. We traded over shawarma.
That's how they went to collect bribe. Over
okay. So for what it was, we spoke, and she was like, okay, it's a sister, she's single, this, that, and all of that, you know, those plenty things.
You were using my oro to wello.
So my one major point, or the major point I tried to make that day was, is she as calm? Does she have your like kind of attitude? Like, not necessarily the two people can't be alike, obviously, but is she that person just like you are, like that sweet person just like you are? And she was like,
my
yes.
sister is sweet.
Yes, and I was like, okay, let's give it a try. And so I got a number and a Twitter handle, but I didn't reach out to her that day. So I allowed it. I took a while, I think about 2 or 3 days, and I just, you know, I was building my punchline. punchline rapper.
Punchline, and they used to kidnap me.
At the punchline. So I'm breaking the sweat already. Okay, so I reached out to her on Twitter via a DM. I think I tried to reach her personal DM. It was not going through them. I just went on. I think you dropped the slides.
Sorry, let me cut you. So backstory: in December 2019, I had met someone on Twitter and we were talking, and we were getting close, and then we decided to date. In between, it did not even reach 1 month. The relationship scattered. So I was very hungry, and I felt like, okay, it's because my Twitter DM is open, anybody can come. So I just padlocked my Twitter DM, and our daddy in the Lord was trying to reach me via my Twitter DM, but he couldn't reach me because it was locked. So he had to message me on my business page. So you can continue.
Thank you. So okay, so like as I said earlier, I mentioned it down on a business page. Drop my punchline. I think you should drop it. It's not so much of a super punchline, but it's just what it is. I started talking. Mind you, I had a number, but I didn't reach out to her via phone or WhatsApp or anything. So we started talking. Then one day via the business WhatsApp still.
Yeah.
Business Twitter and
my business page on Twitter.
That's Anamide official, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I asked for a number which I had already. Formality.
Yoruba man. Oh, sorry, I'm not a Yoruba man.
Delta. You see, what do they carry last? You get?
They have got me. So he had my number and he practically asked me to give him my number.
See, how does it make sense?
But the good thing is, if he had reached out to me randomly with my number, I probably wouldn't be here with him today, because I'll just feel like, who is this person? I'm not interested. That's my kind of person. I'm not in for matchmaking without my consent. Like, I really do not enjoy it. So I would rather give you my number and talk to me, you know.
Okay, so let me cut you another story in the backstory again. So when we were talking, after I got her number, we started talking, and this was getting into February. You guys should understand that.
We actually met in February too.
Yes, we met in
First
February.
week in February.
Yes, I'm going there.
Okay.
So I knew, I sensed via the conversation, like, I think our sister had spoken to her that we met. But,
sister secrets.
But as a sharp man, you know, you can just read between the lines. When you're there, you're there. When you're good, you're good. Forget. But I just kept on the props and the acts and all of that.
Okay, so wait, actually she didn't tell me until you already had my number. Because you remember she was walking around big at that time.
Yes, I know.
So she was off and then she came home. That was when she told me that she knew you.
Yes. So it's not like instantly. This was like about a week or two after we started chatting, before I
a week close.
That spoken, but they were trying to keep me in the dark. And I was seeing this elimination was crazy. Okay, so let me take it forward as fast as I can. So Val was coming, obviously. I didn't have a girlfriend.
I didn't have a date.
She was dry.
I was just healing.
No, nothing. Nobody for her. No Val gift.
Oh my God.
Let me get to you today.
That's embarrassing.
So I guess I said, okay, since both of us are technically on the same page,
let's meet
and let's have our first vow together.
Aww.
So she came from our area, I came from my side where I stayed. We decided to meet at ICM Ikeja.
Yeah.
To get stuffs, then we'll go to a park and enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
And just like discuss, not really just,
because we just wanted to like
that was the first
enjoy
time.
Our company and just get to know each other.
And all of that. And so we met. She came late. I had to put down there.
Okay, so I left earlier, but traffic now.
And Lagos happened to you.
It was just 5 minutes.
You were not 5 minutes, trust me. I got there 5 minutes before time. You came in about 15 minutes.
It was not up to 15 minutes, Joe.
I was shopping already, trust me. I was shopping already.
You were shopping for...
I literally had the cats, like, half full.
Which half full.
So, we met, then we went to... So, we were meant to meet at... We were meant to go to Canada PC Park, right?
No, JJT.
We were meant to go to JJT. Like, that was what we planned. And we got to JJT, and JJT was
locked under construction. So
we went to Canada BC, and we sat there and we spoke. We had our first time, like that was the first time we were seeing physically.
Yeah.
They'd always chatted. She sent asked for my picture. I sent mine. She sent ours. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm sweating a bit, but I'm fine. it's human to sweat actually. So we spoke, we talked. We have one nice picture, like I gave a peck on her forehead the first day.
Yes, I'm going to put that picture. That picture was like, oh my god.
It's Holy Spirit inspired.
The person that snapped herself was bitter. Because we wanted him to snap many pictures, but he just took like some few pictures and he just said he was going and he dropped it for me.
I have bad balances.
As in?
But I'm cutting some stories, so should I tell them how I acted out on the first date? Should I tell them?
No, don't tell them.
Because
they'll pay for professional class.
So because if we have to say that it's somehow has to go with beyond the human.
Yes,
somehow spiritual and all of that.
Yes, so
the way God talks to people and all of that.
I feel like we're going to have to make an entirely different video for our conviction about each other. Yes, and how we went on, because he was praying, I was praying, and you know, it sort of just clicked. Like when it is God, it is God. And when it is time, it is actually time.
And when you're good, you're good. So after that, we snapped, everybody went their ways, and like I said,
we kept talking.
And that was like our first date.
And that was when he asked me
our
out.
first Val. That was the first time we met. That was the first time I asked her out. And it's been 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah, this is the third year.
Maybe our second year. It was honestly for our second year because we won a techno airpod for
our anniversary.
Based on our story of how we met, we'll do something about that, or she'll do something about that.
So
later.
Beautiful.
Like, we still have the airpods still now and they're functional, trust me. We met, we started talking, then COVID happened.
Oh my god, COVID was going to kill me.
Because some of the things we discussed after we decided to have this relationship, COVID just did everything like this.
Number one.
Our plan was for the first year.
We want to just see each other, no families,
meet out, strictly meeting out. No visiting nobody at home.
God in heaven is looking at us like
God was looking at you like, you people be playing 10 years, you don't know what you're doing. Like that was the plan, literally. Because from both of us, she has had a lot of relationships.
Yes.
When we were, I had mine.
So we just wanted to be very
careful.
wanted
to be careful, wanted to give it our all.
Yes, and wanted to be clear. We didn't want to cloud our emotions by what we see or what we think or what we assume. But I think it wasn't even up to a month that COVID broke out, because the first lockdown was by March 14.
Yeah.
And that was like our first month together.
And COVID happened. Hey, just social media. I said, this one that I just have.
Relationship that I was just buying cement for.
In fact, I'm not buying cement. So we just went to prospect the land. And we said we'll pay. We already be down payment for the land.
Oh my god.
No structure, no plan. Yes.
Oh Jesus.
Oh, so that's how that went. Really, that's how we met. So thanks to our sister once more. For introducing us to each other. Thanks to myself for deciding to go like a stranger while I had all the access to go through. And thanks to God for calming her down, because from our last relationship based on Twitter, it does not just make sense
to
run the same race twice.
But then I think what my sister said just like made sense. You know, we had been talking and she was at work. Then when she came, then we had the conversation and she was telling me that she's not going to force me to do anything, but she has met this person and is a very sweet person, and that if I am not even going to end up with him,
sweet boy guy,
and that if I'm not going to end up with him, that she would want him to be in her corner like for life. And that's like the first time my sister is saying that kind of thing about somebody. So you know, I just had to like calm down, slow down, 5G, so that I get to meet him. So wait, I was going to ask you a question. So you know, you were meeting me at the first time, and you barely knew anything about me aside what we had been like saying over the phone. What was the one thing that, aside the God factor, let's not put God aside, but let's just say personally, like carnally, physically, what was that thing that just like let you want to try to go ahead?
Okay, so this cuts into my personal story. I've been through a lot, like relationship-wise.
Ever since I met you?
not heartbreaks. Well, from this from this last point of view, it was an heartbreak because like I really messed up. Right? I did mess up. I had like messed up basically. Not too much story. I messed up. Shit, and I don't know if I messed up. Okay, so I was like, okay, whatever I'm going to have next, I want to make it work. So seeing now, I came to the understanding that most times who you would end up with is not necessarily who you've been dreaming of. It's not that facade you have in your head. She must be 6 feet tall. She must be dark. She must. Because I had my spec. Sure you get. But
I also had my spec. Funny how our specs did not cross.
Our spec has come to gobble. If you understand what that means, like our spec has come to glasses or lenses now. So it was not about the spec anymore. It was just about what was there to achieve. What was the need to go on with this person. So it's not just about spec or fantasy and all of that. It was about self-conviction that okay, whatever you strike now, whatever you try to do now, make sure you make sense of it and you make it work.
Yeah.
So that was the number one factor for me.
So I think that was one of the things that helped us too when COVID started, because we just knew that we wanted to make this work, and it made me agree that in this relationship we die here.
No going back.
Like except it's extreme. But at that point it was like once you are in, you are in. You can't be one leg in and one leg out.
You know, I think the reason why I went that way was oh man, I'm really sweating this time around. Sorry guys. Sorry. I think this light is producing a lot of heat. Yeah, so it's not.
So we need to like find a small fan.
Yeah. So back to the story. The reason why it was like that was because of the God conviction part of it now. I had seen what I had seen.
To save the dream.
My dreams, like which is literally the way God speaks to me. So I knew what it was. So it's one thing for you to have the vision. It's another thing for you to try and carry the person along. Yes, this person might not know the vision, might not understand it, but you've seen it. So you have to do everything within your capacity to make sure this person stays on this vision, because that vision is like the lifeline of the rest of your life.
Though it tarries, it will come.
It will come.
That's what the Bible says. It will come.
So when Agape came with the glory.
Oh, you're so in love with my life. So basically, that's how we met. I think we're going to do a video on how we survived the distance
COVID,
in the early stage of our relationship, and how we just like went through. So if you stayed until now, I think that's how we met. Do you have any other story to add?
Not for now. We'll keep that for another video entirely. I'm a good storyteller, so
yeah, it's bad at storytelling.
I don't know.
It's really bad.
I don't know how to gist.
I'm a living witness. He cannot gossip.
It's not my calling. So really good. So I might have modeled up the story a bit, but trust me, that's how we met, and it was really interesting. And since this our 3rd year anniversary, I haven't struck the date that 14th of February was the first time we met, like our first date, and Valley just around the corner again. So I decided to just tell you guys how we met. Hopefully, this might be your first Val with the person you spend the rest of your life. Oh yes,
and you wouldn't even know.
You know.
I'll see you in my next video, which might be just me. Until then, we love you. Bye.
Bye. Peace out.